And we're back for round, I'm not sure what round, but we're back in Belgium, which is quite wet right now. And joining me in the comms box is Caesar. I hope he's
Hello
here.
guys. Yes, I can hear you. Hello everyone, good to be back in the combox. Good to finally have a TV and a decent internet to do all of this all over again. So, quite a welcome, legendary track with pretty good weather. I hope the race also shows the same weather conditions.
So we have nobody on track right now, which leads me to believe that it might be drying up a little later.
Well, that could be the case, or maybe they're just fine-tuning their setups, or maybe the other reason is the race could be dry and they are just contemplating what to do, which setup to run. Because it does get quite tricky if you have a full wet or maybe even intermediate quality, and then you have to really strike a balance if you want that pole position by running a wet setup, or think about sacrificing positions, risk getting damage in the initial laps, and then going out on a dry setup and then taking it there from the race. But then obviously, anyone who comes out clean out of all of that initial laps will have the best opportunity to score the maximum points. And I already see someone is out on the track.
Sid Kulkarni is out on wet right now, and yeah, so he's probably going to be the first one who's going to be exploring the track. I guess a lot of them will be looking out for him, what are the grip levels and all that. And I see one Ferrari coming out and also an Alfa Romeo. So we have Thakurwa and the Ferrari, and it is Manan in the Alfa Romeo.
Yeah, and I can also see Mr. Stark is the only one on the intermediate, so maybe he's just trying out whether Mike is out, but by the looks of it right now, it doesn't look that it will be improving anytime soon. So, looks like similar conditions. And speaking of Sid Kulkarni, he's on quite a bit of a form. Two back-to-back wins for him. Let's not forget the last weekend, or probably 2 weeks back rather, it was his first IRL win, and he followed it up with another one. So he's definitely man in form, and the driver to look out tonight. You think there's someone who can challenge him at Spa?
So I feel like one to watch out might be Thakurwa, who's been putting up the hours, as I've been told, but he's come off some bad luck and some bad strategy calls. But taking nothing away from Mr. Steady in the Mercedes Easy Level bot, who creeps up whenever anyone makes a mistake and ends up with those points always. So quite a mixed fight. So let's go on board with Sid Kulkarni. And Caesar, do you want to take us away?
Yes, I'm here. I'm sorry. I was just adjusting my mic volume. I believe I wasn't audible enough. So yeah, getting on board with Sid Kulkarni as it's almost towards the end of Sector 1, going through the Camel Straight. Took it rather well of what I could see at the last moment. So approaching the first sector, let's see his time. This is 33.330. Avoiding the curb on the inside and slightly taking it on the left-hander. But yes, you can see how careful he is. The car of Abhi just on the right, getting out of the way. But yeah, this is quite a tricky corner. You really want to brake as early as possible because it's a downhill corner and you might overshoot that corner and lose a lot of time. Going through the no-name corner, approaching my favorite corner in the game where a lot of fun memories are preserved. Avoiding the inside curve, not to have himself face the other way around, but he rather takes it very nicely. So I really don't know what this corner is called, but yes, missing the apex on that right-hander, so definitely more time there to be gained in the latter part of his runs. But he takes this one really well and ends the second sector at 127.772, and yeah, the entire lap here from here on onwards is just flat out, except that bus stop chicane. So it's really important that he really nails that bus stop chicane to gain as much time as possible. It goes really wide. Lap wasn't invalidated somehow, and let's see if he's able to hold on to his concentration with that car in the front. Takes the first part really well. Second part, he just avoids the inside part, and his oxidized has facing the wrong way, but Sid Kulkarni sets a 2-minute head, or rather 2-minute .606.
So I do feel like there's a lot of. I feel like there's a lot of lap time to find, but initially it would have been a really good run for him, because he would have understood the track, and now he has almost whatever is left of the qualifying to make probably very minute adjustments to his wing and step out again probably, because there were a couple of big lift ups on the sector 2 and sector 3 parts of the track. So there we see 158.6 from Vintage.
Yeah, I think that's a more representative lap time.
And Thakurwa is retired.
Yeah. So I see Manan was waiting on the start-finish straight. Not really sure what happened.
So Thakurwa's car is still lined up in the middle of the track. Wicked Vicky had to avoid him.
Is that Thakurwa? Really? I think his car has gone now.
His car has gone.
Yeah, so Sid Venkatesh, 158.982. So he's another one that we usually see him scoring quite consistently, but not so much this season. So this time it has been a bit of a struggle for him. He has been doing quite decent in Division 1 whenever he is reserved, but yeah, not so much where the points really matter for him. Maybe this is the track where he can really start pulling things back, as we should be around halfway done through the season tonight. So Sid Venkatesh really needs to improve on his points.
And Vintage is retired from the session.
Wow, that's a real shame. 158.6. He retired.
Meanwhile,
so
Sid was on a good lap.
Second run. This could have been his second year.
Yeah, Sid Kulkarni had a very bad bus stop, because he was almost 7/10 up on his time after the second sector. So it's probably really botched it up there. But this is interesting now that we have Vintage who's retired. So in case the track does improve, then of course the provisional pole which he has as of now is in a bit of a doubt.
Yeah, Wicked Vicky goes P2. So yeah, Sid Kulkarni has done 32.9 in Sector 1. He's purple. He's gone purple. I'm not sure if that's a legitimate purple or maybe just a game just showing randomly. But definitely he's up on his best run when it comes to Sector 1 time. So he should definitely improve. And with the pace that he has shown, this could be well on his way to pole.
Did something really weird right now, and yep, let the viewers describe what that was a bit later.
There you go, Sid Venkatesh with the pole, and Tanay could be disqualified here. He's facing the wrong way, stationary for quite a long time. Not sure what he's doing here. Okay, there you go. He should get moving as soon as possible. Something's really up with Tanay. But let's see who else is on their hot lap. I can see Sim Racing rather. He is on his hot lap, approaching Puhon, shifting down, brake, and almost goes wide, losing the back end. And yeah, I think that's his lap done. For this one,
we have Sid Kulkarni, who's on a flyer by the looks of it. Let's see what he does this time. Yep,
definitely.
That's a P3.
Goes P3. Yes, and Wicked Vicky, by the way, is 1 second up on his best time. So we could see a 57, a high 57s probably. Just one more braking zone to navigate, and probably improve more on that time, get into the mid 157s. Wicked Wiki, a pretty good FIFA player as we've all seen. Can he get his first pole of the game? No, he just misses it by 4,000 of a second. So not the best of the burst of chicken from him as Ace retires from, and the same corner as vintage player as Sim Racing Sim. There you go, first man into 157.
Yeah, but the top three are not separate. They are. It's hardly a tenth, one and a half tenth, which is separating the top three, which is still very close. But advantage to Sim Racing here because that's his first lap, so of course he would have some time and some track knowledge to gain.
Yeah, top three looks to be in the league of their own, to be honest, at the moment. 6 tenths difference between the top three and the rest of the guys. And yeah, there's a lot of guys who haven't set a time yet. So, oh no, this is Tanai almost going into the barriers, managed to save it. But yes, half the grid have, almost half it have not set their lap time. Mr. Stark, who was on Inter, he still hasn't set lap time.
Abhi is out on track without a front wing. So he's probably had some coming together with some barrier probably. His teammate Kalyan Verma is now just up onto Camel Straight on his flyer.
Okay, what do you think, I mean, since drivers are putting in the laps, what do you think of Captain Sandhu's season so far?
Captain Sandhu has shown pace here and there, but consistency is what I think he's missing out on. And yeah.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of consistency, Captain Sandhu has won a race, at least on track. He just couldn't keep it after the stewards decision. So I definitely think pace is there in him, but it's I haven't seen his races so far, but of what I can judge him by the result, I think he definitely has the pace to win races again and obviously to keep it with him. But steward decisions have, penalized him with a lot of time penalties as well. So maybe his on-track behavior didn't impress the stewards too much. So maybe if he can improve on that, he definitely has a lot of podiums to keep in the future.
Meanwhile, Sid Venkatesh ending his lap, which seems to be a provisional. Oh, I think he lost it. He lost that lap at the very end because he was about half a second up, which would have put him in provisional pole. But he lost it at the exit of bus stop, which is very tricky, even in the dry, to be honest, to get your power down instantaneously there. So probably another lap there. What do you think, Caesar? Do you think it's going to be a dry race?
I don't hope so. I mean, wet races are anyway quite a lot more entertaining to watch at least. Yeah, in racing obviously it's not good because you have a long train and it gets really difficult to overtake. But from the spectator's point of view, it really nullifies all the advantage that a driver has, and it's based on all how well you can keep the car in one piece, and especially on a track like this where there's so many tricky corners, so many deadly curves that you need to avoid. So yeah, no better track to have a wet race on.
On board with Easy Level Bot, who's putting in his first lap time right now. It's quite casual of him to leave it so late, especially in the wet. What would you do, Caesar? If it was a wet session, would you choose to just do 2 runs right at the end of the session, or would you want to build your confidence up through the session?
No, I would rather. I mean, what I used to do was I used to just overfuel my car with 5-6 laps worth of fuel and just do one run after another continuously. Obviously, as the car gets lighter, your lap times will improve, but the tires don't degrade as much as the dry tires do. So it was very much possible to improve on every lap, and I think that's what most of the guys are doing here. And that's probably how Vintage Player ended up crashing, because he was on his hot lap on his second run. Tire wear is low, you have a lot of fuel to burn, ERS doesn't get used as much as as in the dry conditions, at each level goes P7. Not the best of lap from him. But yes, once that's done, obviously it's the way back to the pits and then come out with the lightest car possible and set up one final hot lap.
Meanwhile, Ajitesh in our comment section, who is a ex-Ferrari driver from season 5, says that it's a brilliant, great start for Ferrari. I'm guessing he is not talking about Ahif here.
No, I'm pretty sure he's speaking about the real life because Ahif and Thakur Thakur was obviously at the very last, but Ahif.
Yeah, Thakur was DNF'd, which is why I think he's saying it's a great start.
Yeah. As you can see, top 3 names starting with SS, including 2 Sids. Would really like to see battle between these 2 Sids. Probably once to see who's the superior Sid, but so far I think Sid Kulkarni has the upper hand here.
That is true.
Do you remember how you did, Yash, when you raced here last?
Yeah, I mean, do you mean raced in D2 or do you raced in Belgium?
In IRL, your last Spa IRL race.
My last Spa IRL race was in season 5, and which was also my debut season in IRL. So it was a bit of a topsy-turvy race where I finished P5 or P4 in the end, but
yeah, you missed out on the podium.
And the highlight of that race was, of course, how the pole sitter, the provisional pole sitter, took out another racer named Matt Black on the Kevin Straight, and I think that was the
who
highlight.
Was that pole sitter? Who was that guy? Name and shame. Come on,
Sid Kulkarni.
Oh, yeah, him on pole again. Okay, alright. Will the history repeat itself?
No. Sid wasn't on pole. I meant the pole sitter right now is the one who was the highlight of that race.
Okay, or like that. I thought he was on pole back then. Ahif sets the pole. There you go, Ferrari back on the top. So Redstone comment has some value now.
That's
I can
true.
see the track has dried out. It's definitely Inters by the looks of it. The rain has eased. The track is damp. So.
But will the drivers get back in time? I don't think Sid Venkatesh is going to make it.
The time has run out. Sid Venkatesh is on his outlap, but there's not enough time for him to do anything about it. Sid Kulkarni is in the pit, so his qualifying is done. Yeah, Wicked Vicky, I don't think he can make it. He's at the bus stop chicane, so that's his qualifying done. Sim Racing Sim is 2 tenths up on his personal best. Not enough to put him anywhere above P3, but you never know. He could find a lot of time in the final half of the lap. Anyone else? Easy level bot going through Puhan, but he's not up and he's invalidated his lap. So he's done. Deadly Mosquito approaching the bus stop chicane. He's half tenth up. This will improve his position by just 1, but could he find more time? Taking the final corner and dash the finish line. Getting a bit of a tank snapper, and he goes P7. Who else?
Meanwhile, we are on board with Abhi right now, who's on the Inters and on a lap. So it's all to play for him.
Oh, there goes Sim Racing. Oh, he took it too fast. Just before the bus stop chicane. He crashed and he is into the barrier. Easy level, just approaching the crash side, but he's invalidated, so that doesn't matter anymore. Tanay Singh is the next to cross the finish line. Let's see if he's able to keep this in one piece. Yes, within the limits as well. So just bus stop chicane to navigate. There's a Ferrari of Ahif right behind him. Tanay Singh, I think he's overcooked just a little bit, and yes, he's missed that bus stop chicane completely. But will he improve on his time? I don't think so. He will, and he doesn't. Where will Ahif be? Will he improve on his time? Oh, he's in the pits. Okay, so that's his quali done.
Meanwhile, Abhi is coming across.
On the Inters, he only got the Inters.
Abhi goes P11. No, Abhi also was an Inters. So is Mr. Stark now.
So he's the only one left. Can he nail the bus stop chicane? Not really, but he does take that final corner really well. Dash the finish line. This could be interesting.
Oh, P2.
P2 by 7,000. He misses the pole. So what a brilliant lap from Ahif on the mid compound tires. So Unexpected from the start, to be honest. Didn't expect him to be that high, but maybe his first front row start, as far as I can remember.
Yeah, I think so. Meanwhile, now we go to the grid, and Caesar, can you just run us through the grid?
Yeah, but that's Ahif's. If this is debut pole, I really don't know, but he has. Oh yes, this is not his debut pole. He has taken pole 1, so that's Ahif, Stark, Sid Kulkarni, Sim Racing Sim, Sid Venkatesh, Wicked Vicky, Vintage, Deadly, Kalyan Verma, Easy Level, Tana in the best position at P11, Abhi Ace, Madan, Captain Sandhu, Oxidized, Swag Boy, and Thakurwa. The last 4 drivers fading to set a lap time. So interesting. I think most of the grid, at least after my expectations, are there where they are supposed to be, I believe. But definitely Mr. Stark is that surprise package over there. But I consider Kulkarni in top 3. And if it's a dry race, I think we really have a good race in our hand, because Vintage, who's the season D2 leader, he's down P7, P8, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah,
So
meanwhile,
we will see a comeback from him.
Meanwhile, Mr. Stark had actually put in 1 lap. Caesar, that was his first lap.
So he waited till the very last moment. So it was all that important for him to just set a lap time without invalidating, of course.
You think if he had some more track knowledge, he would have had a shot at pole there?
I didn't have a look at his entire lap. Maybe he messed up somewhere. But yeah, I think if he had a delta to probably use as a guide on the wet compound tires, if he had set an initial lap, maybe it could have helped him understand which corner he needs to gain more time, and that could have helped him. So obviously it's better to have that 1 lap which you set as a banker, and then when you push in your final lap, you would know that where you need to gain time, and you can just pace yourself accordingly, and which corners to not really push hard to lose maximum amount of time.
That is true, and till we have this formation lap, let's also talk about the big news from today from the real life F1 Spanish Grand Prix, which is happening, where we saw Mercedes climbing the ranks. What do you think can predict for the Mercedes? Do you think that they're finally finding their way and their footings, and you think they'll be able to challenge the Ferraris and Red Bull going ahead from here?
No, I don't think so. It's too early to judge. And even I think last weekend, or rather last race weekend, George showed really good pace in one of the Friday practice sessions, and we all know how that went. I mean, yes, Mercedes did score good points last in Miami, but they were nowhere close to where Red Bull and Ferrari were. And I think it's going to continue, at least for this weekend. The trend will continue, and we'll see Max, Sergio, Checo, and possibly Carlos finishing in the top 4.
I mean, that is true, again. But Hamilton in his post free practice interview after FP2 stated that he is super happy with the progress the team is making, and the car felt absolutely amazing. We are not the quickest yet, but I think we are on our way. Coming from a 7-time world champion, and also knowing that Hamilton is one of the harshest critics for the team when it doesn't go right, this might actually be an upward trend from now on for Mercedes.
I mean, he's speaking of improvements from the car they had since the start of the season. So, I mean, any improvement is a good improvement from Mercs, but I don't think it's enough to, put them anywhere close. I mean, let's see. I mean, I won't jump the ship and, rate Mercedes higher, or at least put them on the podiums, at least for now. We'll have to wait and see. But let's just come back to the race. I'm just looking at the tire choices. So it's almost 50-50 split between the mediums and the soft tires. And I really think, if a safety car comes out early, maybe by lap 4 or 5, I really think soft runners could be at the advantage here.
That is true.
Maybe soft could be the way to go.
That is true. And meanwhile, while they form the grid, we are in a Ferrari sandwich actually with P1 and P18.
Definitely.
So the Ferraris on both sides will be something to watch out for.
Let's see. I mean, Thakurva has the pace, so we'll have to see how he makes his way through ups. And you can see in the even in the midfield, guys like Vintage, Sid Venkatesh, Easy Level, Tanay. You know, these guys are not supposed to be there, judging by
That's
the
right.
past history. But let's see.
Meanwhile,
Let's take
it's
it
like
forward
4,
from
5 lights out, and away we go. Seems like Ahif has had a good start with Mr. Stark on his left. As I struggle to find a good. And the sim racing and Mr. Stark had a bit of contact going into turn 1 there.
Yeah, and Abhi already has a track 2 penalty for jumping the start, so that won't serve his race result any better. But you can, Abhi on the comeback as a full-time racing driver. Mr. Stark, meanwhile, is under attack from Sim Racing Sim, who has made up a position. I can see, let me just confirm that. Yes, he has. And Sim Racing will be looking to make his position up on Mr. Stark as he's on the soft, and you know the quicker he can go up. And that was a big corner cut, and he's got a tap from him, and that's a wing damage for Sim Racing Sim. Maybe getting too eager, and who's that in the background? Broke really late Deadly Mosquito going wide on that downhill and losing a lot of positions.
Meanwhile, the biggest gainer in the first part of that lap is Swegboy, who's made up 9 positions in half a lap. Good start from him. Meanwhile, the losers being Sim Racing, who we saw has damage, and Abhi, who jumped the start.
Yes, so not a good
Mr. Stark tumbling down the order, and I think,
yes,
he has had a spin. Oh, that's unfortunate. And he's retired from the session. Will that be a safety car? Oh, it's a virtual safety.
Oh, Kalyan Verma just sped past Tanay Singh under yellow. If I'm wrong, yeah, he's just letting him through. Yeah, so that was some start. Not the cleanest of the start from it. Oh, there's a traffic jam behind Tanay.
And Kalyan is not waiting anymore.
Yeah, I think he should just make his way. Yes, that was an overtake definitely from Tanay Singh under yellows, but I think just came out at the moment where Tanay couldn't react to stop his car in time. But yes, as you said, Swegboy 10 positions up from 17 all the way in up into P7. He's on the mediums and third fastest medium runner, so this should serve him well. Ahif meanwhile taking full advantage of the soft tires, and he's almost 3 seconds up in the front. So yeah, it's Ahif's race to control from here.
Meanwhile, like I said, the Mercedes are slowly hunting their way back to the top of the field. Both of them running P4 and P5.
Yes, very reminiscent of real life, but only one finishes in the top 5, unfortunately. But yes, doesn't look like it's the case tonight. Easy Level, for his sake, he really needs to finish as high as possible, and so does Sid Venkatesh. And I was saying, both the Sids battling. Here we have it right here, right now, going to the Puhan. Sid Kulkarni leading the Sids here, and yeah, there is Sid Venkatesh on the soft, so he would be eager to overtake Sid Kulkarni as soon as possible, and in the next lap he will have that privilege rather of the DRS to make his move, but he needs to be as close as possible to him. And Wicked Wiki just behind Sid Venkatesh.
Meanwhile, we have Vintage, who's charging behind Easy Level on those softs. Would probably want to really make this overtake quick, because he knows that the softs won't last that long, and Easy Level will have an advantage later. Probably send one.
Yeah, so that's the thing. If you have such a mixed grid with medium and soft runners, soft runners usually get really restless in trying to make maximum positions as possible.
And Vintage sends it down the inside.
Oh yes, he had an attempt, but not close enough. As Sid Kulkarni is in a comfortable gap to Sid Venkatesh. I don't think he will be under any threat whatsoever, at least for this lap, and he'll live to fight another day for P2.
Meanwhile, Vintage probably lost out some time coming up Oruge, because he fell back from Easy Level. Meanwhile, Wicked Wiki is right at the back of Sid, and he's going for a move down the inside. And can he make it stick?
Not going to help. Yeah, I think
he does.
runners should be working as a team right now. Not try to overtake, but I think yes, Wicked Wiki at the moment seems to have a bit more pace than Sid Venkatesh. Maybe Sid Venkatesh can use him as someone to pull him along, and both of them can work together to overtake Sid Kulkarni and take it from there. But then again, Sid Kulkarni needs to play this really smart and hope that there's no safety car to really hamper his progress.
That is true. Meanwhile, Wicked Wiki really looks like a man on a mission right now.
Yep, taking full advantage of his softs, and he is leaving Sid Venkatesh up in the dust a bit, half a second gap, and Sid Venkatesh had to use that, is having to use his ERS just to stay up with him, and I think at the next Camel Straight, it should be an easy move for Wicked Wiki as hits at the 147.2. 147.5 from Wicked Wiki as Kalyan Verma has crashed out. Will that be a safety car? Doesn't look like it. I think we should be good, and green flag should resume. So yes, Wicked Wiki about to take P2. Yeah, I don't think Sid Kulkarni is going to fight this one too hard. And Sid Venkatesh says, yeah, I'll take that position as well from you. And I think Sid Kulkarni is playing a really smart game here. He knows he's on the medium compound tires. He will have that advantage towards the end of the race if there are no safety cars, obviously. And just use these guys to just pull him away from the drivers behind. Now he has easy level behind him who's on the medium compound as well. So I think this is where his battle is. And quite smart racing from Sid Kulkarni, I must say.
That is true. Meanwhile, easy level keeping Vintage behind is going to keep hurting Vintage more and more every lap. Because those softs are not going to last the longest here.
Yeah, that's true. I think, man, it was a long time since I raced as power in F1 in general. I think even if you put at around, lap 7, lap 8? I could be wrong, completely wrong, but maybe, yeah, lap 8, around lap 8, if you put, you can take mediums all the way to the end. But correct me if I'm wrong in the comments to tell me how much away I've been from this game. But anyways, Ace and Manan meanwhile, some issue from Manan, I believe. Ace making his way up on Manan. Does Manan has damage? Yeah, I think he has damage on his right end plate.
Meanwhile, Captain Sandhu and Sim Racing are really chasing after Tanay right now, who's fallen quite behind the pack for whatever reason.
Yeah, I think these guys had to pit. I can see Tanay and Captain Sandhu.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, that is true.
And Sim was able to catch up. Thakur is the fastest lap of this race, and Manan is in the pits, of course. Yeah, he had that wing damage from earlier.
Thakur said that fastest lap without being in DRS, so he is showing some good pace right now.
Yep, and Sid Kulkarni is back.
Oh, and Deadly Mosquito had a nice spin, and Thakur is going to pass him now.
Yeah, luckily he did not DNF, but coming at the front, Wicked Wiki has managed to break away from Sid Kulkarni, Sid Venkatesh. So clearly, Sid Venkatesh is struggling in his car. Wicked Wiki has managed to drop him, and you can see he wasn't able to shake off Sid Kulkarni, who was on the medium. So it's not a good race. Has been a good race so far for Kulkarni, who is looking for a decent result in Division 2 this season.
Easy level board is right at the back of Sid Venkatesh now.
Vintage has spun. I'm sorry to cut you off. Vintage has lost it, and not sure what happened, but he was facing the wrong way, and he's lost a lot of time.
And they're just gifting Thakur time in positions right now.
Yeah, I'm sure Thakur won't complain about that. He's gained 10th position. He started from the back of the grid, literally last in P18, and he's moved all the way up to P8 on soft. So that was a brave choice from Thakur to start at the back and choose the soft compound of tires. Normally drivers usually go for the harder compound, but GG to him. He's been able to make it work, and let's see what he can do on this strategy. Manan has an incident.
Meanwhile, easy level might be looking up looking at lining up Sid Venkatesh sooner or later. Sid Venkatesh still has DRS, but easy level closing in with slipstream. Probably will have better grip in sector 2 and 3 now.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Sid Venkatesh has damage or not, because a couple of laps earlier, Sid Venkatesh did manage to overtake Kulkarni along with Wicket Vicky, so he was able to keep up with Vicky until obviously Vicky just sped off into the distance. But I really think he's just struggling with his setup now. His tire wear is really starting to kick in more than he wanted it to, yeah, he's not able to make any progress from P4, and he has easy level right on his tail.
Yep. So hopefully for Sid Venkatesh's sake, he can probably pit soon for the mediums and then take them all the way.
Yeah, possibly just stretch these out for maybe a lap or two. And ERS situation, easy level is on 93-95% ERS, so he's not using it at all. Maybe he needs to realize that Sid Venkatesh is struggling and just make his way up the field, try to battle Sid Kulkarni where his actual battle is. Let's not forget he's not battling Sid Venkatesh, he's battling Sid Kulkarni at the moment, at least from the strategy point of view. So, yeah, let's see. And Sid Venkatesh, you can see he's really struggling on ERS as well, half a tank left. So, yeah, I think he'll be out of his DRS now rather. And yep, I think he just missed the DRS, so he should be a sitting duck maybe by the end of the Camel Straight, and he is.
Yep, and he is. Meanwhile, easy level still not depleting his ERS, which is very, very interesting to see.
It is quite a strange strategy, to be honest, as
well, Deadly Mosquito retired.
Oh, safety car, there you go.
Wow, Sid Venkatesh couldn't have hoped for anything much better than this.
Anything better. I really think this is the perfect time for soft runs to come in. Not a good time to be on the mediums right now.
Yep.
So Manan is on the hard, which I think he should fit in and change it to mediums. But yes, at this point it's definitely advantage soft runners.
Especially IF and Wicket Vicky, who've really pulled away. But this gives Wicket Vicky a good opportunity now, because he was matching the pace of IF all this while. The gap wasn't increasing or decreasing at all. So now it's going to be pretty neck and neck as to how they want to get it done and how they want to race.
I mean, medium tire runners, I think they are in a bit of a situation. Should they go in, as Ahif is obviously going in, you're not surprised, and I think Wicket Vicky will fall him up.
Sid Kulkarni stays out. Following him, Easy Level Bot stays out. So those are the first two medium runners who stay out. Swag Boy stays out. Then we have Oxidize, who's yet to complete his lap. So
yeah, it's urgent to be wise for medium runners to pit in, because hards obviously don't want to go on hards. There's no point. And the tire wear is not too much to really use hards unless you have an incident on lap 1. And yeah, as expected, all the medium runners are staying out and they will hope positions, but this has put them at a massive disadvantage. Thakurva obviously going in, and this has put Thakurva in a pretty good position. Who else? Captain Sandhu is coming in, so Sim Racing is following up him inside. I think, yeah, he should go for another set of mediums, and Abhi and Manan should be in as well. Or at least Abhi, not Manan though. But yeah, so Sid Kulkarni, our pole sitter, Easy Level and Swag Boy, and Oxidize and Ace. Yeah, I think they are at a massive disadvantage right now.
Yep. Hopefully for their sake that they can just some result out of this.
Okay. Abhi is staying out on the hards. This is interesting. Captain Sandhu is out on hards. I was hoping Abhi to pit in because he's P14. He would have lost just one position. So.
Meanwhile, Tanay Singh has stayed out on softs.
Okay, that's that's a bold strategy. Maybe they're expecting another safety car for their sake. So, okay, let's assume you are Ahif Yash. What would you do at the safety car restart?
I would do what I have done in all the races, not depend on fate, not depend on anyone
Not
else,
crash?
just go, yeah, not crash, and go for the overtake and get the position on track. Because I have, from my experience of racing here, it really doesn't make sense to be depending on anyone else or anything else to cause a domino effect for you. It's like every man for himself over here.
Yeah, that involves a risk, obviously, because you know, drivers in the front on old used tires are entitled to defend, and in the process, the driver on fresher tires risk getting a damage. So, I mean,
That is true, but I mean,
when
calm, calculated, you can still get those moves done, I guess. I'm sorry I cut you off, but yeah, I think you can still do it.
Yeah, I would have done the opposite, to be honest. I really like to take my time when it comes to making up positions, and if I know the drivers in the front have to pit, I obviously uh, try to be patient and you know, just think of the long game, because I had races in the past where I've tried to be eager and, you know, lost the race from there in. But obviously, I had races where I've tried to push and, you know, made positions. But I think consistently, if I've waited behind, that has yielded better results. So, yeah, that's just me. I think every driver has a different
Yeah, but
outlook.
speaking from experience of last season, Caesar, like I told you, it doesn't being the good man doesn't help.
Well, again, we have different experiences of that. But it's a different story, obviously. If I'm on a softer compound tires behind them, and I have to make position, then obviously you have to attack to gain as many positions as possible.
Yep.
As Swag Boy, I think he got that penalty under safety car conditions, or was that Sim Racing Sim? I don't know. One of the S guys got that penalty, so which is a shame.
It's. I don't think it's either of them because they got a track warning penalty under the safety car.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay, so that's
Which
a
is
bit.
quite
That's a
embarrassing.
little. Yeah, probably trying to warm the tires up a little too much.
Captain Sandhu gets a 5 second for ignoring the yellow flags. I think he overtook someone. Where is Captain Sandhu? P10.
He is
Okay.
P10.
Did he overtake Ace by a microsecond? I've been in that position, so I know how that feels. Abhi, meanwhile, did what was expected of him on the last lap, and he is on the medians. Maybe he's listening to the com box, and he's like, "Yes, let's do that." Oxidize. What should he do? He's really in a no. Is that Oxidize? Yeah, Oxidize and Ace. Oh, there you go. Safety car is in.
Going on board with easy level to see what Sid does. Meanwhile, he's keeping all the drivers keeping a decent gap from each other. Something you would not
Good
see
to
in
see.
other divisions.
Let's not go there. Right. So let's see where Sid Kulkarni goes. Safety car is still not at the bus stop chicane. How many incidents are you predicting on that first lap?
At least 3.
3. Okay.
What do you
I
say?
expect one, just one, and that will be at the top of Radion,
Okay.
or rather at Radion, not at top. So let's see who is correct. I think Sid Kulkarni should go now.
Yep, he's
And
gone followed by easy level. They've left Swag Boy a little behind.
He's dropped.
And meanwhile,
Sid
IF
Kulkarni.
has dropped even more.
Yes, he's caught napping. 1.3 seconds. He's under attack from Wicked Vicky, who is on the same compound, same lap. Use medians.
Oh,
Someone
and
is
there was some
There you go.
Archie Barshi at the back over there. Something happened. So that's one incident. 2 more to go.
Ace, oh, there goes
Oh.
zero. Your Tanay is gone.
That is 2. And where is my third one? Where is my third incident?
Well, I was almost right. I mean, just before reaching Radion, Tanay crashed. Yeah, there was a bit of
Oh,
a
and
side bump,
that is
side foot bump.
my third incident where Easy Level and Swag Boy came in contact.
There
So
you
three
go. But there could
incidents.
be more. We are not even halfway done yet, and you never know. And Sid Kulkarni is 2 seconds in the lead. So that's a pretty good restart from him. He will be happy that drivers behind him are fighting, so he would lose minimum amount of time once he gets.
And he has a buffer of 2 cars before the fresh tire car gets to him.
Yeah, so I don't think he would have hoped for anything better than that. Manan, meanwhile, is already 4.5 seconds behind Sim Racing. So, and drivers behind him are all over a second, or rather 2 seconds behind. So something must have happened. Thakurva, P14, he's without the wing. So someone who we were praising a few laps ago, he's now back.
And in the words of the mighty Ajitesh, great start for Ferrari, not so great continuation later.
I mean, there is a Ferrari in P4 who's, you can say he's net P1. He has made his pit stop and he can go all the way to the end, and he's right on Easy Level's tail. He was 1.3 seconds behind at this safety car restart, so he's managed to claw back all the lost time. So it's definitely Ahif who's shown pretty good pace and could possibly take P1. Who knows?
Yep, and but not to forget Wicked Wiki in that Mercedes also going to be probably challenging the Ferrari. But will we see Ahif go on Kemmel straight on that Mercedes, and will we have a moment of here comes Sebastian Vettel?
That moment. That's whenever I see that com from on YouTube, man. That's such a brilliant piece of commentary. And oh, Tanishing is left. There's a yellow. Is that Oxidized who's lost the back end? Yes. Yep, that was Oxidized, causing the yellow, and everything is all good. So we're 50% through to the race. And Sid Kulkarni is maintaining that gap from Swag Boy, and Easy Level is just hanging in there within the DRS zone, and Swag Boy gets another 3 seconds. So, yeah, not looking good for Swag Boy at the moment, with all those penalties next to his name.
Yeah, meanwhile, Wicked Wiki is really breathing down the gearbox of that Ferrari right now. Not allowing, I mean, being Ahif right now, he must be in two minds. Should I attack that Mercedes or should I defend from the other one?
Yeah, I mean, Ahif is preserving his DRS. He is not pushing at all. He is believing in his pace. And I think this is exactly what I was talking about at the safety car restart. This is what I usually do. You just wait for your perfect opportunity. You know the cars in the front have to pit, and you are the net race leader, so there's no point taking unnecessary risk getting involved in the battles you really don't need to. And yeah, just take it from there, and once you have that clear air, you can really just put your foot down and try to pull up a gap from the cars behind. We'll see a move possibly from Ahif, but Easy Level will have the DRS, so I don't think we'll see any changes in the positions. Abhi, who is racing as full-time for Alpine, he did choose Ferrari at the start of the season, but had to back out his yellows, and who's Oxidized has DNF.
Oxidized has
there
DNF,
you go,
and that is a VSC.
That's a VSC, so I don't think that's going to help anyone at the moment, unless Thakurva wants to pit, but I don't think he
Meanwhile,
will.
what we didn't see is Swag just 8 tenths behind Sid Kulkarni.
Oh yeah, something must have happened with Sid Kulkarni, or maybe the delta Sid Kulkarni is maintaining that pretty high. He can just launch himself once that. Oh, it's a full course safety car now. Oh, this is perfect for these three guys at the top, but yeah, they'll lose positions for sure. I think they will come back out in P6, 7 and 8 respectively.
Yep. No, I think they'll drop further down. I think it's going to be a P8, P9.
Okay, what do you think? Will Ahif Wicked Wiki pit for softs?
I don't think so. I don't think he should pit, because 10 laps is a bit of a stretch on the softs. Although we should have another lap or two under the safety car.
Yeah, they will be doing two laps at least on the softs, and the car is definitely lighter than what they started on. The softs will easily make it if they pit now. And this is a decision now, drive-through for Ace as well. So I really don't think Ahif and Wicked Wiki and Sid and Vintage and Sim Racing and Manan and Abhi and Captain Sandhu will be pitting. They like to keep the track position, but
IF stays out and Wicket Wiki stays out. The next person to stay out is Sid Venkatesh. The one after them, Manan, is going to stay out. No, he's going in. Manan is going in.
He's going in.
He doesn't want the track position.
It's a good decision because it's a small pit stop at Spa. He would have possibly come out behind, possibly behind Sid Kulkarni, or Sid Kulkarni might be right behind him. So I think Manan did well to pit in and go for a set of softs.
Meanwhile, Sid Kulkarni, Easy Level and Swag come out P4, P5, P6 with Vintage in P7. Sim Racing in P8, Manan in P9, Abhi in P10, all on fresh softs. So how is this going to pan out for the top three now?
As we say, how the turntables from being hunted now, P4, P5, P6 are the hunters. Definitely, it looks like Ahif, Wicket Wiki and Sid Venkatesh on the back foot. Sid Venkatesh obviously will be the first target. And this is what I was talking about again, that if you are on a softer compound and the cars in front are on the harder old compound, you definitely need to push and make maximum positions. And for Sid Kulkarni, I think he will be looking for it because he wants to keep as many cars as possible in between him and Easy Level. So expect Sid Kulkarni to really push. It might work in his favor, but it could backfire massively as well. Something that I experienced obviously when that legendary moment happened at Puhan between me and Racing Copt. I got too eager at the safety car restart. I was on the fresh softs. Their guy was in the front on the mediums, and I just broke really late into turn one, and I just lost my wing. So yeah, there are instances where that could happen, but if you're careful, you could come out of it strongly as well.
Yeah, that is true. Hopefully they keep it clean and don't really, overdo it.
Sandhu, I think, missed the trick by not pitting. He is the only one besides the top three on the mediums, and he'll be a sitting duck. So maybe he can just go in the pits now and get those fresh softs if he has any available with his crew. Yeah, we'll be staying out for one more lap.
Yep.
Let's have a look at the constructor situation. I really want to see how D2 constructor looks like. Just give me a second. Yes, I can see Red Bull are leading the way, obviously, and Ferrari in second. After tonight, Red Bull Vintage is down in P7, Ahit in the Ferrari in P1. So I don't think that will swap the positions, but definitely it will close the gap down. And yeah, except the initial three races, Vintage is really not having the best results. He's finished P6 in the last two races and looks on course to finish P6 again tonight with Swig Boy's penalty in place. I mean, talk about consistency, but not the consistency that he wants. As it looks like we have lost Yash.
Oh no, I'm right here. I just had a notification I needed to attend to, but I'm back.
Was it a notification from one of the Twitter pages updating you about the Mercedes?
It really was actually, but I'm not going to say anything to you because you are in a mood to dash down all hopes of Mercedes right now. And I hope
I just like being realistic. So it is what it is. I mean, they will. It's. I don't know. It's a very rare chance that Merc will be on the podium, just like Mercedes were at Bahrain when both Red Bulls failed to finish the race. I mean, realistically, Mercedes does not have the pace to be on the podium. I mean, it is a bold statement, but I think Alfa Romeo has a better chance to be on the podium than Mercedes at the moment. At the moment, that's the important word.
Well, let's see how through this statement of yours holds come Sunday.
Let's see. I mean, I would really hope that Mercs are involved in the battle for the constructors and the drivers, but I mean, I won't jump the gun, and until qualifying is done, I really don't want to pin my hopes on Mercedes.
Yeah.
Realistically, I mean, Max, okay, safety car in this lap. Max really looks really strong. Race pace wise, Max has that advantage, but obviously, I really want Ferrari to do well, which they haven't been able to do so since 2008.
Yep, and like what the report I read said that Mercedes and Red Bull had better race pace simulation in FP2, but let's see. Meanwhile, let's get back to our real life Ferrari P1, Mercedes P2, Haas P3, and an AlphaTauri P4. AlphaTauri is now starting from P4. Sid Kulkarni, all of them would want to really charge down the necks of the top three, get these overtakes done. So let's see how it unfolds in just a moment now.
This could
Meanwhile,
be a
IF has
conference.
gone.
Oh yeah, the race has started. IF is gone. Come on, Sid, don't do a Caesar. And okay, yeah, he'll be on the outside, so I don't think he's at any risk. He's going on the inside.
Ooh.
Will he brake really late? No, he just holds back and gets a tap from easy level bot from behind. But I don't think there's any damage. Further back, I don't see any issues. And everything looks clean. Captain Sando in P13. Going up your Rouge. No issues as such. It's a big corner cut from easy level. But he didn't crash, luckily for him. And looks clean so far. Sid Kulkarni, meanwhile, I think he'll be going for the move on his name counterpart. And yep, he is up into the podium position. Looking good
Meanwhile,
to win.
Easy level right at the back of Sid Venkatesh. Oh, chooses not to send it down the inside there.
Vintage going down the inside of Segboy gives him a tap, and Segboy loses 2 positions as a result. Sim Racing Sid gets a 3-second penalty again. But yeah, Vintage not holding back, and he's up into P6. Yeah, Sid Venkatesh is really now losing.
No, easy level bot. Oh, he's trying to go down the inside everywhere.
Yeah, I think easy level needs to be a bit patient. He is loose now. He's lost a lot of time battling with Sid Venkatesh over 2.5 seconds. The gap between the two Sids. So I think. Oh, there's a yellows at the back. Who was that? Nothing major, but yeah. A gap has formed between Sid Venkatesh and Sid Kulkarni. So easy level, yeah, losing out because of battling, trying to get through to him. Yeah, Sid Kulkarni meanwhile looks really good to finish on the top once again. But let's see how this turns out for him. You think Sid Kulkarni can finish P1?
Well, I do believe so. For his sake, I hope he does, because it's a brilliant mistake-free race from him. But it's also been a mistake-free race from IF and Wicked Vicky. So let's see what the top guns can do. And meanwhile, what a move from Sid Kulkarni. That's a typical here comes Sebastian Vettel on that Mercedes.
Yeah, he's in an X-Toro also, overtaking a Mercedes and
chasing after Ferrari.
Chasing after Ferrari, yes. So Sid Kulkarni looks in the mood to win the race, obviously. And
Wicked Vicky sends one down the inside.
This is not gonna help.
Oh, that was not. That wasn't the best of moves, I'd say.
Yeah, Wicked Vicky getting just a little bit eager. I think for Wicked Vicky's sake, I think there's nowhere he goes really wide there. I really don't think he's in a position to challenge Sid Kulkarni on pace. I think he can just use him to stay and.
Yeah, I think Wicked Vicky has damage on his wing.
Yeah, he
does seem to be. Yep. Yeah, he definitely has damage.
Yeah, he's under attack from Sid Venkatesh on the inside.
Oh, and he almost hits the touches his teammate. Wow, that'll be a party we would want to be for in right now.
Move the Rosberg here. But yes, Sid Venkatesh somehow is up back into P3, but yeah, he's under attack from another Mercedes. So he overtook one, but he will be overtaken by another one. Sid Kulkarni meanwhile has gained back around 6/10 in 1.5 sector alone with DRS active. It's just a matter of time before Sid Kulkarni overtakes Ahif for the lead.
Yep, and Sid Venkatesh also will be under pressure from easy level bot.
Yeah, one Sid going for an overtake, other Sid being on the defensive. Six Venkatesh, you can see, he's already depleted over half his ERS reserve, so that's how much he has to push. So definitely he's not comfortable with his setup, and he's still using it. I think Six Venkatesh should just give it out. I mean, there's no point. Yeah, there's no chance he's going to defend that, even though he will try. But yeah, there's no point.
Yep,
But,
the
yeah,
soft eyes just have a
3 seconds
massive
gap.
advantage right now.
Yep, on a lighter card as well as yellows again in turn one. Who's this? Wicked Wiki. And who else was it? Was it Thakurwa? No, Thakurwa looks alright. Yeah, Wicked Wiki has damage for sure. So, for someone being in the top two, and now he's just struggling at the last point, staying position. Not a good weekend. What's the fastest lap so far? 146.2 from Captain Sandhu. We could see that come down, possibly from Sid Kulkarni.
Yep, it does look like he was in DRS also this lap, so maybe fastest lap incoming.
He is really pushing his luck on those mediums. I don't think it's a smart thing to do, because obviously you will not be able to pull away a gap of a second from the car behind.
Yep, there you see a fastest lap.
6-1. Yeah, in the 45.9. There you go. Sim Racing beating it instantly. And I think this could be the moment for Sid Kulkarni to make his move. And
Yep,
yeah,
does look
nothing,
like.
there's nothing
And
can
like
do
I
about
say
it.
again, here comes Sebastian Vettel, Sid Kulkarni on the Ferrari.
Yep, they moved done and dusted way before the braking zone. And let's see if Ahif is able to keep up with Sid Kulkarni. Ahif definitely has the pace, and Sid Kulkarni, I believe he has another couple of laps to maximize the potential of these softs before they run out of steam. So as long as he can get himself out of that 1 second window, I think Sid Kulkarni should be pretty pleased with it. Sim Racing Simp is just collecting penalties left, right and center. Does not look good on him at all. But Ahif doing pretty well, keeping in close proximity with the race leader on those mediums, as we get a 3 second time penalty. And oh, there you go, Sid Kulkarni using his ERS to get away from that 1 second window, which I think is a smart thing to do. But he is right on the cusp, and oh yeah, he's just back in. Is Ahif. As Yash looks like he has got another notification.
No, this time it was a call. My bad. These calls.
Our main commentator is a busy guy. He gets a lot of social connections from here and there.
Yep.
He can't keep up.
I can't, and unfortunately I'm not like you who doesn't race anymore as well.
You never know. I mean, tomorrow is a new day, so things change.
Hopefully I see you soon.
Speaking of something new, have we played FIFA together so far?
So getting back to the fastest lap, Thakurwa. And I think that answers the question.
That's a genuine question. I really don't know. I need to check if you've played or not. I mean, since there are no marathon track happening right now. But
yeah, I don't know. I don't think I've ever played FIFA. What game is that?
Oh really? Okay. Oh yes, we have. Okay. Now I know why you saying that. Okay, we did play. All right, got it. I understand. That's sarcasm. But anyway, Sid Kulkarni, let's get back to the race. Sid Kulkarni has managed to pull away a gap. He's 1.5 seconds up in the front with equal amount of ERS as compared to Ahid. So definitely in the driver's seat is Sid Kulkarni with 3 laps to go, or rather just 2 laps to go in a bit.
Yep.
And
meanwhile, Vintage the only driver in the DRS of the driver in front right now.
And he knows that Manan has the time penalty, and Sim Racing Sim in P4 has a 9-second time penalty. So he looks good to finish in P5, which is definitely an improvement from the two P6s he's been getting for the past 2 weekends. But doesn't look good on the championship leader at the moment.
Yep. Meanwhile, it looks good for Sid Kulkarni, who's almost up for his third win on the trot. Meanwhile, Swagboy is...
definitely.
Okay, what is going on with Swagboy?
Okay, Vintage will be making that move pretty soon on Manan. And yes, that Red Bull. Just how Alex Albon made 2 years back, 3 years back. Yep, that moves down. Okay, I really want to check one holostat record now that this race might have the result that I'm looking for. Alright, so the record for most consecutive win is 5. Swagboy has retired, but I think that's in the pits, yeah.
Yep, no, he ran himself into the pit wall there. I don't know what he's
like
doing.
That he paid tribute to Shadow Sword.
Shadow was a bit of a coincidence. This Swag looked like a quite a
Coincidence cannot happen twice, yes. He's able to do that twice. I mean,
oh well. Swag looked like he on purpose went into the wall there, but I mean that's for someone to report, not me.
Meanwhile, easy level, he's caught up to Ahif. So Ahif, who was leading the race at one point, who looked pretty good to finish P1 at the first safety car. He's under attack and he could possibly lose P2 as well. So easy level, who was looking for a pretty solid result for this season. It looks like Spa is the one to be for him. But can he? There is still
And Ahif gets a time penalty, 3-second time penalty.
Okay, that seals his fate, at least for not finishing in the top 2. And that
Meanwhile,
seals the win for Sid.
Yeah, it does. Meanwhile, Caesar, if you remember a couple of laps back, you said that Ahif was maintaining his battery quite a bit. He's depleted his battery because on the straight I could see his red light blinking, and that means he's under 10%. I mean, not right now, but he was.
So he was trying to close the gap down with Sid Kulkarni, and I think that's the reason why he was able to get that 3-second time penalty, because he was pushing too hard, and that clearly has backfired. And now even if he finishes P2 on track, he won't get to keep that. And I don't think Easy Level will let that happen, because on the next Camel Straight we could see the Mercedes overtake the Ferrari quite easily. As here yellows again, but I don't think the safety car will come out now.
Yep, I don't think there's a crash anywhere, just someone slowing down.
Right, so as I was saying before the interruption on the last lap, the record for most consecutive win is 5. Sid Kulkarni might possibly have 3 tonight. He could very well at least match that record.
Yeah, of course, those records are set by really great people. I don't think it can be beaten, right?
I mean, records are meant to be broken. We have seen quite a few records being beaten this season and in the previous one, so you never know. Anything can happen. Sid Kulkarni looks to be the man or the driver in form, so...
Yeah, meanwhile, my record, Caesar, which I still don't see in the Hall of Fame, most wins without a championship in a single season.
And well, let's come back to that, as Easy Level makes a very easy move on the final lap, and yeah, just takes P2 away, even on the track as Captain Sandu gets a 3-second time penalty. But I think he should be good enough to take P7 away from Sim Racing Sim. Vintage, meanwhile, he's done well and he's up into P4, but he won't finish there. He will lose that position to Sid Venkatesh. So, yeah, P5 is, I think, where he will finish.
Yep, Sid Venkatesh probably seen that coming and just backed off.
Yeah, I think that's a smart thing to do. Because he knows that position is sealed for him, unless obviously he makes a mess of it. He should have that P4 field. I think before this race, Sid Venkatesh best position was P4 in the inaugural race for the season, and he's just about to match that. But let's come back to our race leader, who I don't think got a lot of screen time, but did get a lot of commentators mention. He breaks for the final time at the bus stop chicane. For the final time, he take that final corner. A lot of finals there, so he has won in Japan. He won at Hungary. He wins at Spa, his third consecutive race win. I'll talk about his first idol win. He's followed up with two more, so that's some form if there's one. Easy level meanwhile gets P2 once again and yeah, closes down the gap, and he could possibly, I need to calculate the points, he could possibly overtake easy level, overtake vintage after this race. I would need to calculate those points, but yes, Ahif rounding off the podium position. So an AlphaTauri, easy level, and Ahif, the top three.
Yep.
Pole to victory. You expected that?
Yep, I mean, we said Sid is one to watch out for, and I remember talking to him after the Hungary race, telling him that the first race win is always, it always makes you more hungry for more, and seems that hunger is not dying off anytime soon.
Well, for his sake, let's hope this carries on. So let's go through the finishing order, Yash.
So we have Sid Kulkarni in the AlphaTauri P1 with easy level, P2 Ahif in P3, Sid Venkatesh P4, Vintage player P5 with Manan following him behind P6, Captain Sandhu comes back to take P7 with Sim Racing, who seem to have been having a good race until that wing break, finishes P8 with Abhi in P9. Thakurva, who made up quite a lot of positions up to P10, stays there in P10 with Wicked Wiki P11 and Ace being our last points finisher in P12 with, yep, and he's also our last race points finisher and race finisher right now with Swag, Oxidized Tanai, Deadly Mosquito, Kalyan and Mr. Stark DNFing.
Well, that was quite an entertaining race. Sad that it wasn't a wet race, but it was interesting nonetheless. Captain Sandhu, meanwhile, up into P7, so that's a pretty solid result from him. Thakurva, who looked pretty good to finish high up on the grid order from the back of the grid, is in P10, which I don't think he'll be happy with. So we have one of the three podium winners in the party chat. Let's see if Ahif and our race winner joins in, so we can start.
Sorry, I just had a bit of a big brain moment there. I didn't invite Sid. I went and joined the party by mistake.
Very nice. Well, I have invited Sid and others, so they are here. We're just waiting for the race winner. So while we wait for Sid, let's just start off with Ahif. So Yash, take it away.
So Ahif, a very mixed race for you, made a comeback in the end, was leading some point of the race, but then the soft runners just a little too fast for you at the end of the day, it looks like.
Yeah, I know, as soon as I saw Sid Kulkarni and easy level bit for softs, I knew they were going to come for me. I was able to manage, but at the end, I think the softs were too good for me.
Okay, Yash has gone again somewhere. Anyways, I'll just continue with that, Ahif. So first of all, congratulations on the podium.
Thank you.
Yeah, you look good to take the race win, at least in the first safety car restart.
Right.
Did you think about, I mean, you did not, but at least did you think about bidding for softs?
I did actually. I actually did, but I knew for sure that the three cars ahead of me, they were going to go for softs, but if I had pit, I would have been P4 or something. So
Okay, but coming to the penalty that you had, where you did you get that while trying to push too hard to close the gap to Sid
Yeah,
Kulkarni?
yeah. No, I was looking at I think easy level behind in the mirror, and it's my fault. I was trying to push.
Yeah, but I think even without the teaching time penalty, easy level looked
Yeah, he would have.
good to overtake you anyway. So he got P2 on the track. So fortunately for you, that time penalty meant nothing in a way. You got to keep your P2. So congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Let me just check
So I
one thing
have
before I proceed.
you.
Hello.
So you probably really do appreciate this result, because I think you had a poor choice of strategy in the last couple of races, and finally things working out for P3 at least would be good, and you have the pace, so probably going forward would be challenging more for the wins.
Yeah, yeah. Let's see. I actually thought I was going to win, but one safety car at the wrong time, and they were able to pick this off. But it's still, P3 is good. So I think this is my third consecutive podium. So I hope to keep this going. So let's see where it goes.
That's good.
Yeah,
That's
talk
great.
about safety car ruining the winning chances. I've been through that, so I understand your pain.
Thank you.
All right,
Congrats
let's
to
just.
Sid Kulkarni. I think that's 3 wins in a row for him.
It is, yes, that's 3 wins in a row. So, yeah, well done to him. Okay, let's just move on to easy level. Hello, Gaurav, how are you? And congratulations on yet another podium.
Yep, thanks, Caesar. It was a good race. Happy with
Yes,
the
yeah, just take us through the race.
Yeah, so qualifying wasn't the best of it. I think I invalidated in my last of the laps. It was good for inters, but I didn't have enough time to go back to the pit and come on a new set of inters. So it was just a very suboptimal qualifying. Then I thought I knew I had the pace. I'd make some moves. I got a good start on lap one, and then gradually safety cars just came and at the right time for my teammate as well. Unfortunately, he couldn't just hold on to the end, otherwise we were projecting a double podium, but the safety car also came in at the right time for me. So it was fairly smooth, and in the last 4-5 laps I saw Ahif losing a bit of, I was gaining on him, so I just planned to get into the DRS in the second last lap and plan my move for the last lap, so that overall got executed, and 3-second time penalty was just icing on top of the cake. So probably a couple of laps I could have just given some Sid Kulkarni some challenge. I got held back by the other Sid on those mediums, but nonetheless great racing. And it's a Division 2 it's highly competitive. You can see people with consecutive podiums and consecutive race victories, so you never know. It's just so open right to P6 or P7, so I'm really looking forward to more such battles with these guys. Congratulations to all of them.
Yeah, it is. It is quite competitive. You said that right. So, continuing from that, do you think IRL can see you racing on the Saturdays?
Probably I'll go with the comps maybe, but that's still a long shot to go right now. I still focus on the next range. So Kulkarni is really a big threat right now, and so is Ahif. So, but let's see how this proves. But meanwhile, whatever chance I get to reserve for D1, I'll keep doing that.
Hey, come
Well,
on, man. You need to keep the.
I was speaking from in the terms of full-time seat from next season, not as a reserve. But anyways.
And you need to keep that Mercedes trend going, buddy.
F1 22 new game. Let's see what that has in store for us.
Yep.
Well, I hope it's better than this game.
Yep.
Do we have Sid Kulkarni in the chat?
Unfortunately, we don't.
We do. No? No, we don't. No. So, unfortunately, we don't have the race winner. Our third consecutive race winner is not with us, but that's all right. Anything you would like to add, Yash?
Yeah, brilliant race line. Like I was telling you, D2 is actually very, very competitive, just like how Gaurav said. And it's really, really interesting to watch these guys race, and commentating on it is actually quite good. Gaurav keeping on, like I said, churning out the results. Ahif also with consecutive podiums. Sid Kulkarni with consecutive wins. It's all to play for, like he said, and I'm glad to be watching this. All the best, boys, and good race.
Thanks, guys.
Congratulations, guys, and thanks, Yash. Thanks for having me on board. It's good to be.
Thank you, Caesar, for
involved,
gracing me with your.
in a race in RL. Yeah, so let's hope I get to do this more in your future.
Yep. Thank you for gracing me with your presence.
Yeah.
Anyway, so see you guys tomorrow for the D1 race, and hopefully we can give D2 a good battle when it comes to on-track racing. So let's see you tomorrow, same time, probably with Gaurav as the commentator, and yeah, have a good night, boys and girls, if you all are watching.